Today I'm doing a little day in the life of a real estate agent type video, and I'm going to take you with me to the office and take you on my day as a real estate professional. I have not done a real estate vlog type video in a very long time because I feel like they're pretty boring, but every time I do a poll on my YouTube channel asking you guys for what you want, like what type of videos you want to see more of, the overwhelming majority says every single time they want more real estate vlogs. So here you go, you're welcome. Also, I have chosen a couple questions that you guys have asked me that I'm going to answer at the end of this video, so be sure to watch the whole thing so that you don't miss that. Spencer took Astrid with him for the day, or for the rest of the day. It's like 1:30 right now. He took her with him for the rest of the day, so I have the rest of my day to myself, and I thought I should get to the office and try to get as much done as I can while I have some time alone. I have a out-of-state buyer to get back to that came actually from a YouTube video. So if you have any clients coming to Oregon or relocating to the area, feel free to send them my way. I'd love to give you a referral fee. And I have a past client to do some work for. I have some escrows to handle, current transactions. I need to get some signatures for a couple things. But first, I have a phone call, or a couple phone calls to make that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I paid someone in the Philippines to make my cold calls for me, and I just wanted to chat with you guys about that. This was a little experiment I decided to do. I actually made another poll on my YouTube channel asking, let me pull it up here. I said, real estate agents, have you ever paid someone to make your cold calls for you? Only 4% said yes and it was successful. 40% said no and I wouldn't do that. 52% said no, but I would be interested in doing this if it worked. And 4% said yes and it was unsuccessful. So not many of you guys have done this before. This is something that I just wanted to experiment with, because if it works and I get a return, then I'll do it all the time. But if it doesn't work and it's unsuccessful, then I don't have to ever try it again. To start from the beginning, I went to one of my fave websites, actually my favorite website ever, Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr. And my plan was to purchase phone numbers of people who have very high equity in their homes, like high equity homeowners, and cold call them myself. So I found a fellow on Fiverr, and he found me 500 phone numbers to, a few of them were divorcees, but most of them were high equity homeowners. And now I know I've heard from other agents that you can get like high equity phone numbers from the title company for free, but don't ask me about that because I've never done it. And I'm more of the kind of person that would rather like pay an expert to do it, and then I'll do what I do best, and then we're all happy. We're all doing what we like to do, and as long as I get a return on the investment, I'm happy. So I paid someone on Fiverr to find me 500 numbers, and he got the numbers back to me and then told me that most of these numbers I'm gonna have to call like 5 times before I actually get to the like actual person's number. Like a lot of them are false numbers, so I'm gonna have to like do a lot of trial and error before I actually reach someone. And I honestly just do not have the patience to make that many phone calls and not have any answers. So I decided to go back to Fiverr and find somebody who is a professional cold caller, or at least does it for other agents often. I made sure that he had great reviews. The guy that I found was from the Philippines, and he had good reviews. And I gave him my list and had him make the calls for me. So the guy that makes the phone calls charges $30 for 100 numbers. I gave him 500 numbers, so it was about $157 total, not including the tip, of course. We ended up extending the number of time that he called them because he got a lot of voicemails from his initial call session. So it ended up extending it and upping the price. So it was $250 total for him to make these calls for me. And then of course I had to pay the person who gave me the numbers as well on top of that. So this was kind of an investment, but for the numbers and for the person to make the calls for me altogether. But keep in mind, if I just get one listing from this, then it is totally worth that investment of a few $100s. I would totally pay that to get a listing any day, especially if I'm not doing the work to prospect. Like, I would do that any day of the week. So far, I have 3 leads from this, and basically that means I have 3 people who have requested more information from this Filipino man that called them, requested more information on our services and what we would do for them, and said that they might be interested in selling their home. I haven't talked to them yet, so I'm about to make these calls. I wanted to do it while you guys were here. I have no clue how serious these leads are. I'm guessing they're going to be very long-term leads, because keep in mind, these are not for sale by owners. They're not expired listings. These are people who weren't even, you know, selling their home or having it on the market. And we just called them because they have a lot of equity in their home to see if they might be interested in selling. So I am guessing they're going to be very long-term leads. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to have to be following up with them for a year, 2 years, maybe even, before they're ready to sell. So what I'm going to do after I call them is I'm going to go back to the office. I'm going to put them on my mail drip campaign, which, if you don't know what that is, I have a video talking all about it. I will put that video in the description below, a link to it, because it basically just explains everything that I'm going to send in the mail to them. And then I'm also going to send them my book. If you don't know what my book is, check that out as well. There's a link in the description below for that video too, so watch those 2 videos. That's everything I'm going to send them. Basically, I'm going to be planning on sending them mail and following up through occasional phone calls for, like I said, a year or however long it takes until they're ready to sell their home. Okay, I am dialing the first lead right now that came, the high equity homeowner that came from the cold calls.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Hello. Hi. Is this the owner of the home that is on 3rd Street in West Salem?
Yes.
Hey, my name's Mariah. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway. I was just wanting to see if you were wondering if you what your home was worth and wanted a market analysis for that.
Who are you again?
My name's Mariah. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway. I'm a real estate agent in the area.
Okay.
I just see that you...
That's a home that, as of right now, it's under construction.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, so probably if you find somebody with cash only, that would be the only way to sell the home as of right now, as of today.
Okay. So you're gonna need a cash buyer. Is this so is it was it a rental?
Right now, but it still needs some work and updating and all that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would love to do a market analysis and just kind of see what I think it would sell for right now, because I know we have a lot of buyers that are having a very difficult time because pretty much everything is just getting so many offers. I mean, we just wrote an offer on a house that it was $25,000 over asking, and the house was even, I thought, overpriced, and we still didn't get the house because
yeah.
you know,
if you have a buyer or have time to come take a look at the house, I will let you walk through and take a look at it.
I would love to see it. When could I come take a look at it?
I'm gonna be working.
Will you be around tomorrow?
No.
Not tomorrow. What about Sunday?
Monday in the afternoon, if you.
Okay, I could come by Monday afternoon.
Do you live in Salem?
I do. Yeah, our office is in Salem, and I live in Salem as well.
Where about in Salem?
South Salem, but our office is close to downtown, so I could come. You're in West Salem, right?
Downtown, so you're like 3 minutes away from the house.
Yeah, I'd love to come see it Monday. What time works best for you?
Maybe let's say 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, perfect. I can do that.
Yeah, give me a call at that time, and no pictures taken, nothing like that. Okay.
Okay.
Just for your eyes only.
Okay, sounds good. And
all right.
and what was your name again?
Ewan.
Ewan.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I will see you on Monday at 5. Oh, my name's Mariah.
Mariah. Okay then. Give me a call probably an hour before you make it there to confirm that
Okay.
you are coming.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
See you then. Well, that call went better than expected. I wasn't expecting to get an in-person appointment. Of course, I don't know if I'm going to list it or not, but if someone's willing to meet with you in person to see their home, then there's a pretty good chance that they're more motivated than they're letting you know about. So I'm still going to go back to the office. I'm going to do a CMA for him and print it so I can have it ready and bring it with me. And then, of course, like I said, mail drift campaign in my book. So go check out those 2 videos in the comments below and let's make this other call. All right, we are dialing the second high equity homeowner lead that I got from Fiverr.com.
Hi, you've reached Lauren Giesick, real estate agent at
What?
Smart Realty Group in Salem. Leave your name and a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
I'm a little confused.
Thanks so much, and have a great day.
Excuse me? Real estate agent. All right, I think my caller man was a little confused on that one because he sent me that one as a lead and it sounds like she's a realtor, but that's not the name. Okay, that's so weird. That house, I don't think he realized that that was a realtor. So maybe she thought that I was a buyer or something wanting to buy it. I don't know. So anyway, moving on. All right, so the last lead, I said that I had 3 from this little experiment that I'm doing. And the third one, I'm not going to call right now because I've actually already talked to him. He has a lot for sale. They just bought it about a year ago, but for some reason they're already interested in selling. Not quite sure why, but they're interested if the price was right. And so I did a CMA. It wasn't, enough for them to sell it and make it worth it. But they aren't going to keep it forever. And so I'm definitely going to continue to build a relationship with them and follow up, and maybe I'll get a listing from them in the future. So I would say if that one that I talked to, that I have the appointment with, lists with me, then those calls were worth it, and I would do this all over again because I would totally pay for a listing in that way. Of course, I still have to do the work of following up and converting them and showing them I'm professional and that I can do the job and all of that stuff. But if I could pay to get in front of a lead like that, in that way, I would totally do it. And I've tried so many ways in my years of going on 5 years now, that's crazy, of being in the business. I've tried a lot of different things, you guys, and I've had a lot of different things fail that I paid for. Most of them were like monthly subscription things, ways of getting leads, marketing, whatever. That's why I've turned to sweat equity so much, because in video, because it's just what works for me. But yeah, if that ends up listing, then to me it's worth it. Even if it's in a year from now, I think that the investment is totally worth that. And he's gonna be making calls one more time for me today, so we could still get just some more leads from that. So that's how that went. Just to wrap it up, just so you guys know, that's how my little Fiverr experiment went. Let me know in the comments below if you would try that or what you think about that. I'd love to hear your feedback and information there. Like I promised in the beginning, I would be answering a couple of your questions. First question is from Will J. Hello, Will. He says, could you speak on or do a video about how you react when salespeople call you to try to sell you products? Like, does a Zillow rep call or a sales rep from another real estate company and try to sell you something? That would be super interesting to hear about. My response was, OMG, that happens all the time. I never want to make them feel bad or be rude when I get calls like that, but at a certain point when you're getting so many of these calls, you can't let them waste your time anymore. What I do is I just, before they even say anything, as nicely as I can, I let them know I'm not interested and wish them well, but I do it extremely quickly before they can like give me their pitch, and I hang up before they can really say anything else. So try to stay nice, but also just kind of hang up in a nice way, if that makes sense, because I don't want to make them feel bad. I know how it feels, like you do too if you're watching this video, probably, because you're a salesperson and you know how it feels to just get rejected and hung up on, and when people are really rude and cuss you out. So I don't want to act like that, but it does get annoying sometimes. I mean, as realtors, we get people calling us, trying to get us to buy their leads, or, you know, like I was talking about earlier, I've tried so many of those things and I'm just so not interested. So next question is from Yasmin. What a pretty name. Yasmin Armain says, are you still previewing for sale by owners physically, and are they being receptive during this time? My response was, honestly, I have not been doing the preview appointment approach that I've talked about before on my channel lately. What I've been doing recently is just calling them and asking if they've had any thoughts of listing, and then continue to follow up through mail and calls. The preview tactic works great, but the problem is that when I was doing it, I had the best results when I would go on preview appointments like all day, and it was super time consuming. And now that I have a baby, I just don't want to be away from her for that long. If I was in a position where I was like, I really need to make money, I would do that, and I would like go on appointments all day. I'd do what I have to do, but thankfully at this point in my life, in my business, that's not the case. The preview appointment tactic works great, but the problem is I would have to do it all day. Now that I have a baby, I don't want to be away from her for that long, and this new way of converting for sale by owners, I can just make the calls from my house, and then I only have to go to the seller's home when they're ready to list it. Of course, the conversion rate isn't as high, but it's what's working for me right now. I'm not really in a position to like care. Both methods work. It just depends on what is best for your current circumstances. All right, you guys, that is it. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And if you are a realtor, like I said, if you have a client relocating to Oregon, send them my way. I'd love to give you a referral fee. And if you are not a real estate agent and you are watching this video and you are thinking about making a move, just like flip my hair. If you are thinking about making a move, whether you are in Oregon or outside of Oregon or outside of the country, wherever you are at, contact me. And I will set you up with a solid realtor wherever you are at. If you are in Oregon, I'd love to work with you myself. But if you are outside of Oregon, still call me, because I'd love to answer all your real estate related questions and set you up with a great realtor who's going to do a great job for you, because the realtor that you use does make a difference in how things go. And I thankfully have connections with so many amazing realtors all over. So I'd love to help you out. So see you next time.